Alright, let's see. Can everyone hear me okay? Alright, thank you. I always want to double check that because even though we are in a cyberpunk world, doesn't mean that, doesn't mean that, we are going to be going full robo. So how's everyone doing today? I see you, Quan, Ado, Blemished, Cake, Marcus, Quan, Sal, Hot Sauce. I see you all. Now, there's something that I want to ask you guys before we continue. Do you guys prefer that I use this avatar or the other avatar? As in, well, the dementia one. I get the feeling that you guys are probably enjoying this avatar more because of two obvious big reasons right now.
Hello there.
Angles? You don't like angles? We need more angles. Yeah, great personalities, I know. We need more angles. We need to approach this from different angles. Okay. But I do hope that everyone is having a wonderful day. I'm currently just chilling. It took me a little while to start, but I just wanted to double check everything. And I was also spending a little bit more time with Kuvira as well, so that's why I started streaming a little bit later. But today's stream is going to be only VR chat. It's just going to be you and me. I do feel like the hand tracking on this one could be a little bit better when I press the fucking button. Of course they are. Of course they are. It's just that actually looks good in this one. But yeah, the hand tracking in this one, like there are so many different avatars of this one, but the hand gesture is a little bit weird on this one. But, I mean, visually speaking, it's still the same one. I feel like I'm just taking this pose just to mess around with you guys a little bit more. Hey there. So, do you come here more often? I cannot raise for shit. I am so out of touch on how to riz or flirt or do any of that shit. I don't do that shit anymore. Like I'm really bad at it too. Like I'm terrible. again, if you guys want me to, I can switch to another avatar. Like there is another avatar that I have, but it looks a little bit more realistic. So I don't know if you guys want to see that or if you guys want me to switch avatar to like something else, then I can do that. Can I at least show the avatar? Okay, give me a second. See, I will give you guys options. See, I will give you guys options that you can pick from. So obviously this one is a is an option for you guys. So give me just a sec to switch. Now I hope that I'm not gonna shove like boobs in your face. So give me just a second, please. RNG, be on my side. I seem to be a very tall lady, though. Jesus. Can I do something here? See, I also have this one. I don't know if you guys want to see this one, though. Like, this is another avatar that I do have, and, oh. The jiggle physics are everywhere. But, so I do have this one, and then obviously we have another one. You will remember this one, right? So yeah, it all depends on you guys, what you guys would like to see. So I will give you those 3 options. Thank God that I'm wearing like these things though. What did he call those things in English again? I forgot. So yeah, it depends again on what you guys would like to see. No, we're not gonna do a poll because every time I do one, you guys don't really vote for anything. So again, you guys just tell me, and with like simple numbers, it's gonna be number 1, 2, or 3. See, this is exactly why I don't pick polls, because then you have Max over here going like, yeah, I've got to pick another number. See, exactly. This is why we don't do polls, because see, there's always these other options that people are gonna troll with. Do know it's number 3 is this one, okay? yeah, 3 it is then. So are we gonna settle with this one? Well, yeah, so then we can, we can settle with this one then, right? Wait, let me see how it actually looks like in chat, because I cannot really see it, because I have performance mode enabled for my Streamlabs. Yeah, I suppose this could work. Alright, so, now that we're here, hi, how's everyone doing? Lovely meeting you here. It's such a surprise to see you guys here. Well, we're currently just chilling here, and I just want to get like things warmed up a little. I want to be able to hear from you guys and then see where exactly we're headed with like these topics that I have in mind. Well, topics that I had in mind because of you guys asking for these topics. By the way, if you see me looking here at this in this direction, it's because chat's over here, at least for me, so I can see you guys all over here, all on my left side. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be back on the job hunting thing because I want to see if I can get things done, like with a part-time shenanigan, but I need to get something done first with my house that needs some like official registration things. And then I will be eligible to like co-house with someone, right? Are you sitting on your bed or on your couch? Actually, I am not laying down right now. I'm just sitting up straight in my what do you call it? In my gaming chair. You have a course tomorrow? Well, as in school? By the way, Sal, quick question. How old are you exactly? Like, are you in college or high school or what's happening? Well, it really depends on how old you are, then potentially. Now, it is most likely not going to be a direct ban, but do note that you have to be 18 plus to be here. That's gonna be a little bit difficult, so... That's gonna be a little bit difficult. Like, if it was just like a few months away, I wouldn't mind, but at the moment... I apologize, but yeah, no. Seriously, guys, we cannot, like, there are rules, there's a reason why there are rules. But I do... God, why? Like, how on earth do people still Like, the thing is enabled for mature audiences only, so how the fuck are you guys still getting in here? The only way is that you guys are probably just lying about, some things here. Alright, sadly enough, I guess that I have to manually input in my fucking titles to, only allow 18 plus, so... Again, I do wish you, like, a shitload of luck with your courses, but, I will kindly ask you to remove yourself from the channel. No disrespect to you. Not to you as not to you as a, nothing against you as a person, Sal, don't worry about that, but, yeah, this is still an 18 plus thing. Also, hey there, Wizzle, what's up? Again, definitely, when you hit 18, feel free to join in here, and I will, like, don't worry about it. Again, it's nothing personal against you, it's just that I have some rules to abide to. Well, there's no need for promises, because whatever I say, I do promise you that it's basically an automatic promise. For example, I will promise that you will be more than welcome to be here again whenever you're 18, as I also promise to beat the shit out of Cake every time he says something stupid. See? Makes sense. Also, hey, look, what's up? And Wizzle, I'm actually doing. I'm just chilling right now. I'm just chilling, and I'm just waiting before we go on this tangent of things that we are going to talk about. So, yeah, things are going to be interesting. Again, people have voted that they wanted to see this avatar in particular, so here we are. Take care, okay, Sal? Back from the eye doctor, what did you do? Okay, Nate. Do catch that bus. We don't want you to miss your bus home and then have to spend, like, sleeping at work. So, yeah, you don't want to spend the night at work, right? Be sure to catch that damn bus. Do I have any other poses, though? That might be interesting for you guys. I think we'll just stay with this one, I guess. Dude, imagine though, like, am I actually laying like that? There you go. But the thing about this, like, how I'm sitting in real life is basically just imagine, like, from the head of the avatar just going straight down. I'm just sitting straight up right now. All right, so I want to pull up my Discord thingy here. So allow me to spawn in a new window for me so I can scroll through Discord because there have been some things that you guys wanted to see. Or rather, not really see, but more like interact with. Things that you guys have asked. All right, see, there we go. Now I have a screen in front of me that I can read some things here and there. So let's see. I have a question here, or a thing that, like, I'm just going down the list, by the way. Also, blemished, fuck you. For some reason, it's not playing, but I see you. So a question here. It would be cool. You talk about more about Belgium. So talk more about Belgium traditions, folklore, food. How's the relationship with your neighbor countries, and at what stage of your life did I declare war to the French version of fries? Is what's going on right now. Or is the question that has been asked. So Belgium in itself is a very shit country. It is also very easy for other people, as in for those that want to live here, it's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's really not difficult to like live here in Belgium if you are from a foreign country. So in case people are like, yeah, I want to live in Belgium, it's stupid easy. So Belgium itself is a very, like, the people of Belgium are a very welcoming, like a very welcoming country. We are kind of all on our own in the sense of we all have our little problems and we all prefer to have like our own little bubbles. But the moment that, the moment that we get to know you, then we're very open, and then we would welcome you all with open arms and be like, hey, you want some food? Eat with us. And then there's like a shitload of food being tossed in your face. So yeah, that's usually like Belgian people. Like we're basically like cats. There's like a saying that we have, which is de kat uit de boom kijken. And that basically literally means as a cat watching things from afar, from a tree, for example. So if you have a cat that climbs in a tree and it's like sitting on this branch, for example, and then it scans the area around. It just looks around to see, like, are there any dangers? Are there like any interesting things happening? Just looking around, then just, being careful with what to interact with. That's basically the mentality in Belgium. Some people are just like very open from the start, but the vast majority are very, like, we are very much to ourselves. As for traditions, we don't really have any large traditions. There are some things, I guess, like the what we call the Janse Feesten. What that means is basically the how do I call this? It's not really a party. It's more like a festival of Ghent, basically, where every year there's like this events being hosted, like lots of things happening. There's a shitload of people there that are going there like with music and drinks and lots of drinking, by the way, a shitload of drinking. But it's all like in a very warm, just like having fun kind of experience. where like the entire city of Ghent, which is like a very medieval-esque looking city. And there's like all these little fairs and things and food stands, food trucks, fucking performances of bands or popular artists in Belgium, things like that. And then we go like from place to place. There's a shitload of people though. I don't do well with crowds, so you don't really see me there that often. Let's see, folklore. I don't really know any folklore of Belgium, to be honest. The only thing that I always remember from Belgium, and that is purely because it is very close to where I live, that would be the Battle of the Golden Spurs. It's not folklore though. It's more of a actual historical events. And basically what happened is in 1302 in the Middle Ages, that is, for those that didn't pay attention to history, the Battle of the Golden Spurs was fought in a city that I don't live far from. And basically what happened, long story short, a bunch of Flemish farmers gathered up and be like, you know what, fuck the French. They actually fucked them up really hard despite not being trained or anything. And like the French were like, they had like a shitload of cavalry, like a shitload of heavy cavalry, like knights that are like armed to the teeth, and they still got their asses handed by us, at least for a day. As in specifically on that battle, right? So that is something that I will always be kind of proud of, as in like, even though we are a very small folk and that we mostly consist of, we're not really military people, we're not really fighters in the sense of, like people from Eastern Europe, like Bulgarians, for example, or Polish people, like those guys are like very tough drinkers, and they kind of punch you in the face, but they mean well by it. You know what I mean? So we are like a very soft like people, but for some reason, when it comes to it, then I guess we can be kind of crafty. Yeah, especially like a tough love, like everything in East Europe, like again, like Romania, Bulgaria, and Poland, like all on that side, like those are usually like the very tough love folks. So we're definitely not like that. We're like the complete opposite. Let's see, in terms of food, well, speaking about fries, it is not that I will say that I have something against the French for saying that there is something like French fries. Again, there's no such thing, in the sense of what you guys refer to, or what people in the world refer to as French fries, are basically just fries. Specifically, we invented them in Belgium. The reason why I don't like the saying French fries is because it is inaccurate. That's why I don't blame the French for that. I blame whoever the fuck invented that, or invented the word French fries, which would probably be the Americans, because that is like the only the only country on this fucking well, it's like the only fucking kinds of people that I can imagine to be stupid enough to be like, oh yeah, we are in France right now. Yeah, no, you're fucking not. Americans and their geography has always been rather shit, so yeah. Kind of proves the point now, does it? But yeah, well, there you go. The Belgians, we made the fries, and then you guys are just being stupid enough to call them French fries because you guys thought you were in France. Now the question, I don't think it's gonna be a question because Resmore is the person who asked this. And at the moment, I do not think that that he's here. So yeah. All right, let's see here. Okay, I am not entirely sure, but is Byron here? To be fair, I've never had sweet potato fries. I'm not entirely sure how that would taste, though. Wow, Vine's not here, and he's the one asking questions, too. Anyway, what Byron asked. But this will potentially be on YouTube anyway, so in case you're watching this, Byron, hi there. Hello, things. So, Byron asked, I would like to talk about how to deal with burnout, getting into streaming, and how to improve moral for ourselves and others. Well, that is not exactly a question you should be asking me because I'm not exactly the exemplary person to be looking to for anything that comes like to motivation or anything. The reason why I keep streaming, though, is not exactly because of motivation. It is not that motivation is an issue. That's the thing. I will always want to stream for you guys, and that's not because of motivation that, like, how would I say this? It feels, to me personally, it feels that the word motivation is something that you would need to then do what you want to do. And for me, it's not like a matter of whether I want to or not, it's just that I want to do it. Also, Wizzle, yes, you can. Right? So it feels like if you need the motivation to do something, that it feels like you didn't really want to do something in the first place. But for me, I always want to stream. So how to get into streaming, it really depends on what your goals are as a streamer. So if you are planning to stream, that is, if you're planning to stream and you want to do this as a hobby, just merely as a hobby and not necessarily as a like full-time kind of thing, as in that you wanted to make your job. Right? So if you want to do it as a hobby, then by all means go for it. But if you're here, or if you are getting into streaming with the thought of, I can do this for the rest of my life and live off of it, only if you for some reason have the means to provide for yourself, including streaming, then you can do so. You can also do that. For example, if for whatever reason someone is sponsoring you like crazy, or someone is just giving you free money, or you won the lottery, then of course you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? So with that said, when you start out and you are just like any other human being that isn't fortunate enough to win the lottery, and you want to make a living off of it, then you're probably going to be very disappointed. The reason why I'm saying this, though, is because it is probably not going to work out. For example, the example that you're looking at right now, me as a person. Even with all the crazy support that you guys have given me, it is still not enough to make like a living off of it. Because it is not consistent, and that's the difficult part. It is very difficult to be like consistent with your income because it's never going to be the same. If you work a regular job, like 9-to-5 job like I do, then you always will have more or less the same amount of money at the end of the month, right? With streaming, though, it is very, very volatile in the sense of it can be more or it can be less. It can be way more or it could be way less. You don't have control over that. It is something that the people themselves want to give to you. You don't have that in control. There are people, or there are streamers, for example, that kind of do have it in control because of one, they are either a large streamer, or they are basically one of those booby streamers, right? That are basically constantly selling themselves because of lustful reasons, as in the people that are watching them are having, you know, lustful thoughts and are like, yay, boobies, and then they, and then they just give them money and then they get scammed like crazy. So yeah, that's also a thing. Those are the ones that are consistent with it. But that's the thing. When you start with streaming, nothing is going to be consistent. I am currently streaming for a year now, almost. So yeah, it's actually really close. So we're already the 21st of August. So I don't know, have I been streaming for a year? The channel is like nearing a year, but the first official stream is still somewhere in September. So it's still very difficult to start streaming in general. It always will be, especially with how easy it is to currently start streaming. Because it's super accessible for everyone. Anyone can become a streamer whenever they want to. Anyone can be a streamer whenever they want to by just like 2 clicks of a fucking mouse click. That's it. That's it. It's that easy. Your PC can be really crap, but you can still run the shittiest games. And therefore, like it's still streaming. Like that's how easy it is compared to way back when it was rather rare to see streamers, or good streamers rather, then yeah, those were the people that are fortunate enough to have like broken through those early stages. But right now there are hundreds of thousands of channels that are currently streaming, and trying to make yourself known or to put yourself out there is really difficult because it's really saturated. I know that people are still saying like, no, like you can still stream, it is not saturated or whatnot. To that, I say that it's kind of bullshit what you're saying. It is super saturated. Like, how many VTubers are there? Like, if you would go on Twitch right now and you look up the tag VTuber, just see how many there are. And then think to yourself, if I would start streaming, how on earth are people going to find me specifically between these hundreds of thousands of other VTubers? And that's the thing, that's a very difficult thing of people need to have a reason to specifically watch you as a person, as a streamer. And everything is already decided, especially in today's day and age where people have the fucking attention span of a goldfish, that your first impressions are very important. The first impressions are very important so that they can see, like, what is this person like? What are they talking about? Do I want to stay here? And those are all things that people will ask, like, okay, I want to stay here or I don't want to stay here because of reasons X and Y. So that's why getting into streaming is very difficult. Am I going to encourage people to stream in terms of trying to make, like a living out for yourself? Then I will highly discourage that because you will be very disappointed. Unless you're fortunate enough and you have like a serious game plan and you have something to offer that no one else has, then yes, you can do it. And then I would encourage you to do so. However, if your idea is to just go live and play video games over and over again and then hope for the best, it is not going to work out and you're going to be very disappointed, you're going to be very depressed, and you're going to quit streaming in about 2 months. So yeah, that's maybe a good segue to go into from being depressed into going in the topic of burnouts. So, how to deal with burnouts? I personally have also experienced a couple burnouts in my life, in which case I didn't feel like doing anything. For those that don't know what burnout is, I'm not talking about the car thing. It is about like being so overworked, so overstimulated with everything that is happening in your life, where your mind and body are basically shutting down. Your mind and body are just rebelling against whatever is happening in your life, and you don't feel like doing literally anything. It is a form of depression, for sure. But it is mostly work related. It is mostly due to a heavy load being put on your mind that you don't really feel like doing anything. It's not that you feel like overly sad, but it's just that you don't know why you don't want to do anything. Like, you know that you want to do something, but for some reason, nothing really interests you anymore. Like, nothing is relevant to you anymore. You don't care about anything anymore. You don't talk to people anymore. You're just like this empty shell, just not knowing what you want to do. So, how to deal with that? Again, I have experienced 2 burnouts. How I did that is, or how I dealt with it is basically, it might sound weird, but actually this burnout thing the burnouts that I experienced kind of led into me wanting to do something with my life, as in, if I'm going to be feeling this shitty, how can I make it so that other people don't feel as shitty as me? This is one of the reasons why I started streaming. So I've been fortunate enough to push myself into something that I want to do through my burnout. Before I started streaming, I had a burnout because I was done with work and I was going through a breakup. I had so much shit going on in my life, and at that point I was like, yeah, okay, fuck it. How do I was so dumb because it was the second burnout. Because at the end of my second burnout, I was really thinking hard, like, how can I make sure that, like, I can feel shitty quite often. How can I make sure that other people don't feel like that? And then one of those reasons just sprouted the birth of this fucking channel or community. So how would I deal with a burnout? I would try to focus on questioning yourself of what is something that you want to do in your life. What is something that you want to achieve before you kick the bucket, basically? It sounds like very morbid or something like that, but it is something that I wanted to do, and it pushed me to do something that I never thought I would be able to do. I never thought that I would be able to talk to you guys like this. I never thought people would actually want to talk to me. So I'm very surprised that still you guys wouldn't talk to me. So from that, I would say try to make your lowest point your strength, basically. As in, what is something that you can like see the positive in a negative? I know it's like very cheesy and cliche to say, but from this negativity that you're experiencing through the burnout, what is something that you want to do in the other direction? As in, is there something that you still want to do? Maybe not specifically for yourself, but for someone else that you really care about. No, there is definitely some. Okay, that's the thing, Dragon. It is indeed very difficult to come up with what you want to do, because it also took me months on end to actually, like, figure out what I wanted to do. So that's why I would not just say, like, you have to figure it out, like, as the burnout is going on. It is something that you should be asking sometimes, just like when you feel like, you you don't have a purpose in life, for example. Like if you think that on a regular basis, then it is a very interesting thing to ask yourself. What is something that I want to be able to do or want to achieve before I die? And I know it's a very morbid question to ask, but it is going to put you in perspective of, is there something that I can do that will make other people remember me for who I was? See, right now, I could, for example, if I would die right now, I'm happy to say that people will probably remember me as being this derpy goofball, but that still really caring about other people, that still wanted the best for all of you. That is what I want to be remembered by. That is maybe also something that you could ask yourself, like, what is something that I want to do or achieve that I want to be remembered by, not only by other people, but for myself. Like if you, for example, if we are dying and we see our life flashing before our eyes like a movie, like some people have experience with near-death experiences, what is a moment in your life that you still want to see as that is flashing by, that you are like, oh shit, I actually did that, but like a good thing, of course. I'll say it, Popsicle, what's up? So that is something that I am happy to, like, to say to myself, to be like, okay, cool. So I was able to achieve this. Like I was able to achieve the community that we have right now. I was able to achieve this channel. I was able to achieve me streaming, me actually like being able to reach out to other people and make them feel happy and make them not feel lonely anymore. So I'm really happy that I was able to achieve that for a lot of people. Like there are people that DM me that are saying that they are so happy that they have found the community and that they are able to talk to me. And to that, like every time I see that, it really makes me happy because it feels like, yes, I fucking did it. Like I was able to achieve the thing that I was preaching every single time, of me not wanting people to feel as shitty as I do, of people not feeling lonely anymore as I do, or you know, like all these things in today's day and age where loneliness is just it's increasing exponentially. And that is something that I just wanted to be like picking up on early, to be like, no, we are not going to do that shit. We are going to spend time together and we are going to take care of one another and spend time with one another, care for one another. You know, that's what I wanted to do. And so here we are. So that's the thing that just helped me, like with this burnout thing that I had. So, Byron, I hope that kind of answered your question. Let's see, next on our list, unless you guys want to, keep talking about this, you guys can ask questions in the meantime, right? I'm just talking, okay? I'm just answering things that people wanted to talk about. But again, if you guys have some input in that stuff, feel free to leave that in chat, okay? Like this is a two-way thing. Well, two-way. How many people are here? I can't see how many viewers there are, but it doesn't matter. But just know that if you guys want to say something in chat, then go for it. In the meantime, while you guys do that, I need a drink because my throat feels very, very dry. All right, okay. So I am not saying that there is like a golden answer or the one answer to rule them all for, you know, how to deal with burnouts. Everyone can experience that or work through it in their own way. Hey there, Anthony. What's up? By the way, can you guys also hear the music okay? Ninja, shut up. That whatever Ninja is saying, how about this for truth? Whatever Ninja said right there is bullshit. That's my truth. Yeah, again, I don't want to have the music like being blasted super loud so you guys can't hear me anymore or something. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, Quan. Like, that is also a thing. Like, going back to the topic of streaming, by the way, like, that is also something that I really want to focus on. And I should have mentioned it earlier. Whenever you start streaming, and you're putting in a lot of effort into all the things that you do, but the results are not paying off as you hoped they would, that will also be a huge fucking impact on your mental well-being. Especially when you really want to make things work. And that's the thing, like, I've also experienced that. Like, for example, with my trailer thing, the trailer that is for my new model's appearance or whatever the fuck. Well, not really necessarily the model, but more like how Tabithash is gonna look like, right? So with the trailer, like, I am still very disappointed on how the results came in or how the results came to be. Not like on how the video was. The video itself is stellar as fuck, but it is not being discovered like by people at all. And that is something that is still gnawing at me because it makes me worry about the future of if the full video is going to be a thing, are people still not going to see it? So that's a little worry that I have, and that's why it's still like a very large dent that it left in my mind of me not being good enough, and I will always blame myself for it. Like, I will always blame myself for my things not being as successful as I hoped they would be. That is going to be with everything that I do, like every stream, for example. Like, I want it to be the best possible there is. That's what I want to do. And I'm really trying to work on my talking thing to learn how to interact more with you guys, to, to talk more as we are right now. Because I know when I'm playing video games that I don't talk enough. I'm very silent when I'm playing video games. That is something that I really want to change. So I'm trying to make up for it for my silence during all the streams through this. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just whenever I'm gaming, I don't know. I just feel like I'm zoning out and not really. It's not that I'm not paying attention to the chat. I am always paying attention to the chat. Whenever I'm gaming, whenever I'm doing this, I'm always looking at chat. But whenever I'm gaming, I'm not really talking a lot, but I also do experience sometimes that whenever I'm gaming, that you guys are also just like enjoying whatever the fuck I'm doing, or just putting me in the background and, you know, game or play some games, video games yourselves while my stream is like on in the background. That is what I know what is happening a lot of the times. So I'm not expecting you guys to constantly talk. That's not what I'm saying. It's that there are people that have different approaches of how they want to enjoy the content of this channel. So that is something that I do know, and anyone can do with the stream whatever they want. You can say whatever you want in chat, as long as it is within the rules or within Twitch's TOS. But it doesn't mean that you have to say something in chat. Like, it's entirely up to you whether you want to or not. And I'm not gonna like blame anyone for that or be like, yeah, you have to say something or this or that, or it is your fault that I cannot talk. No. Even when there's no one chatting, even when there's like, for example, if there are thousands of viewers, but no one is chatting, I still need to talk. Whether I have 1,000 viewers or 0 viewers, I still have to talk. And it's something that I really want to work on. But again, whenever I'm playing video games, I'm just so used on playing games by myself that I am not really that, you know, I'm not used to talking when I play video games because physically I'm still here by myself. So I guess it's just like a habit of me just not talking to people whenever I'm playing video games because I had no one to talk to. Like before I started streaming, I had only two. I had two friends of mine that I could talk to, and one of them is Lanta. And even with Lanta, there are times that I even don't talk to him at all, like for months on end. It's not that I don't want to, but it's just that this is like one of those issues that I really wanted to address with me starting streaming in general. Because again, before this, I had no one to talk to or no one to play video games with. So, and this is something that I wanted to change. And then hopefully with this, like, it kind of worked, right? We were able to play video games together, more or less. So that's why whenever I'm asking people to join me, I always ask, like, for example, with Phasmo or Fortnite, I will let you guys know one way or another that I want to play some games. There are many games that I have introduced you guys to because I wanted to share a little bit of myself with all of you, but also have so many more options and ways to just interact with me outside of streaming. So yeah, that's again, that's a little something then, well, going back to that worry thing of the discoverability of Twitch. Yeah, Twitch discoverability is non-existent. When you are new, you are either going to be needing a shitload of luck for the algorithm to actually pop you up on the front page of fucking Twitch, or it's just not gonna work out 9 out of 10 times. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I worry about, like, whenever the full video is gonna be released and of course, the full video will obviously show the full drawings, all the artworks. There are a shitload of artworks, by the way, that are going to be put in there. And I'm hoping that it will do a lot better than what the trailer or the teaser thing was able to achieve. Like, it's also really sucky for the person that did that video for me, that he spent a lot of time on this, and then it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's not really, no one's really seeing it. So that really sucks. So that's why I put it like as the pinned message on my Twitter, so that the first thing that people see is that fucking video. And that is something that I want people to notice, like, okay, like, check this thing out, like, great things are about to happen, please check it out. But that's the thing, like, when people do see it, they're saying great things about it. They're saying that it's so cool and so epic and, you know, things like that. And that's why, to me, it's something that I wish that more people would see, but it's so fucking difficult to put yourself out there nowadays. Like, it's near impossible. So that's why I have this worry about the future of the model in general, about everything, how I'm going to promote it, because I feel like I'm going to put a lot of effort into this, a lot of resources, and it's not really going to do much. Yeah, I don't know what Twitch is going to do in the future, and it's kind of worrisome that it is now just taking the same approach as TikTok, which is bullshit in my opinion. Like, if everything is just going to be like TikTok, then just make another app that is just a lot more easily accessible and just different, and, you know, something that fucking works. Also, hey there, Resmore, what's up? By the way, Resmore, we already had your things covered, as in the thing that you asked in Discord. So you'll have to watch a video for your response on that. All right, let's see. So now that we have those topics out of the window, Ninjo, you asked about paranormal or ghost talk. Now, me personally, do I believe in ghosts? I firmly believe that there are no such things as ghosts. Reason why is there are a lot of things that don't make sense when it comes to like ghosts, or whenever they are most active, you know, things like that. For example, why is it that ghosts, movies, or activities, or interactions are always considered to be the most active during nights? Like, why is that? Like, why is it only during the night that they're like, oh, it has to be nighttime, and then this and that is gonna happen? Yeah, that is something that I don't believe. Also, hey there, The Rock, I hope you had a wonderful stream, and hope you have a lovely day. And we're currently talking about ghosts, about spooky things. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, the whole idea of ghosts is basically, like sitting around a campfire and telling scary stories. That's the essence of, you know, what ghost things are like, or like phasmophobia, for example. It is basically just a game around the idea of potentially being something in, like, that is still lurking here on Earth, that, you know, some spirits that are stuck here that want to move on but can't for whatever reason. And personally, I really don't believe that. Because if they were real, wouldn't there be like so many more like mentions of it? And again, it's very inconsistent. Like it always has to be at night, and ghosts are, you know, doing this and just interacting with shit. And I feel like these YouTubers, for example, that are like putting on these bullshit fake stories, you can definitely tell what their stupid, shitty, fucking, with their very shit acting, that they're like, oh my god, look at this, bro, look at this, it just moved, look at that, oh my god, bro, the door just slammed, we have to get over there, you know, like shit like that. Is, yeah, they're really not helping this case. And then they like, oh, it is so dumb. Also, right, Narok, I would say thank you, but I didn't make this model. But I'm trying to get in contact with the author of this thing, but she doesn't really accept my friend request, goddammit. but I wanted to just like say like how awesome the model is and that I want to use this forever because I'm kind of scared that one day I won't be able to use this model anymore. So yeah, that's why I wanted to contact them. Like, hey, can I please, kind of pay for this model so that I can have it forever? But yeah, that's the thing. Like, for example, with all these ghost tools in Phasmo, or like for example in the Conjuring, like microphones and things that are like picking up ghosts frequencies and things like that. Like why would a ghost need to like interact with those things specifically when, according to those ghost stories or those theories, that they can show up whenever they want to? You don't really need those fucking tools, like following that logic. So why do you need those tools? So it's kind of weird. Again, there's a lot of inconsistencies with that. Again, like the usage of like said tools like EMF readers and spiral boxes and all those things, is that like it's cool, it's interesting, but it's all bullshit. Like I want to believe that ghosts are a thing. I want to believe that like spirits and, for example, that they do exist. I'm not gonna be like saying like, for example, someone told me that they have seen paranormal stuff, for example, like in DMs. I'm not gonna say who because I want to respect their privacy. And they said like, yeah, I've been experiencing like paranormal things. I've seen some things here and there. And I'm intrigued in those things. I'm very interested in those things. As in, like, what have people experienced? Like, I want to figure things out about this. And I will not disrespect anyone that says such things. I will not be like, oh yeah, you're fucking crazy. No, I will not be like that. It's just that there is not enough evidence in the fucking planet that could prove that there is like hard evidence for things as ghosts to exist. The theories are very wonky or very flexible. The means of how you would interact with them, for example, like the methods and all the different things that they have like invented, is also something that is very inconsistent and makes no sense whatsoever. That it is plausible to say that it is sadly enough not real, but I want it to be real. Like, I want to investigate like this thing of like, is it actually real? Is it actually something that we can witness for ourselves? Is this something that we can discover? Because if it is real, then there is so like, imagine if we have hard evidence of actually like there being afterlife and ghosts actually being a thing. Do you have any idea what that would do to humanity? Like, that is like a lifelong question since humanity was, fucking on this planet. Well, literally fucking, but also placed on the planet. Like, why are we here, and is there something after death? Like, that would like answer like a shitload of questions, but also create many more questions. So that's the thing. That is something very interesting to look into. And that's why I'm very interested in it, because again, I'm very interested in all things thanatology and eschatology. Because if we can find something like that there is something like life after death using, or like discovering like that there is life after death, and then like that would answer so many questions, but also what would that do to religion? Like, there are so many religions out there, like what are they going to make off of it? But yeah, that's the thing, like that is something so very interesting that I still want to discover. Like, I wish that I could interact with ghosts. Oh, preferably nice ones, nice ghosts, to really figure out like what happened and what is going to happen to us when we die, and how did they get here in the first place? Like, what are, like, there are some rules still that are being applied to ghosts. Like, ghosts are just not there for a reason then. So if ghosts were a real thing, there has to be a solid reason why they are there. And that is also something very interesting. Like, is there then someone, some upper deity, for example, that decides whether or not someone is a ghost or isn't a ghost? Like, that is also something very interesting to talk about then. And that's the thing that we don't know. But again, that's why I honestly don't think that ghosts are a real thing. Or like paranormal things. Like, I have not witnessed anything paranormal as of yet, and I hope that whenever I do, it's not gonna scare the living piss out of me. But I would be very intrigued and like try to investigate at whatever it is, like trying to help out. Like, what is happening? Like, why is this ghost figure here? And is there a way to solve like whatever is happening like to them? Like, there's a lot of things that are going on then, and that is, again, I will not say that whoever believes in ghosts that they are fucking crazy. I will say like, okay, good for you, but how? Like, what happened? And that's why whenever that one person asked or told me about them experiencing those paranormal things, then I asked them like what happened? Like, since when? Like, did you have multiple appearances? Or like, because I want to know like what is happening. What did you see? What did you see that I'm unable to see? And that's very interesting. Had a dark shadow scare one of my managers by running down a hallway by the office and disappearing behind the locked cooler door. Well then. Wait, so did your managers, or did one of those managers run down the hallway, or was it the shadow that ran, like behind a locked cooler door? But yeah, that's the thing. Like, when you are saying, like, again, it's not that I don't want to believe you, but I really could not. Like, I don't know. Like, I would want to have seen that for myself. Like, I am, sadly enough, I will have to say that I don't believe you, hot sauce. It's not that I don't want to believe you. It's just that it seems very unlikely. Like, if that's something that I wish that I was there to experience it for myself. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's nothing that you can do to prove it. Like, and even if there were cameras, shouldn't they have picked it up anyway? If it's just like a minor glitch in the camera, that doesn't like prove anything. And that's like the really difficult part about it. Why do I feel like whenever I'm gonna put off my VR headset that there's gonna be a ghost right behind me? And if there is a ghost right behind me, know that I have no ill intentions. I just want to figure out what the fuck happened and why are you here? And is there any way that I can help you, Mr. or Mrs. Ghost? So yeah, when you looked up and saw a thing, that's also something. Like, for example, when I was a kid, that I would also sometimes be like very, very scared of the dark, for example, because I always felt like something was right behind me, despite actually nothing being right behind me. Because it is very difficult to know the difference, or to draw the difference in, is it something that you saw basically in your head? Or is it something that you physically saw that everyone else could also see? But not everyone else, but more like, is it something that you see? Like, for example, when you're looking around right now, is it something that you visually see for yourself, or is it something that you are seeing because you are feeling it? You know what I mean? Like with the example of me when I was a kid, like whenever it was like super dark and I had to go down the stairs, and the stairs, like downstairs was like really, really fucking scary. You know, all dark and shit like that. So I always felt like something is waiting for me down there. And then for me, I would like start imagining or seeing things while they're not actually there. It's just because my fear was kicking in that I was like starting to think that I'm seeing things. That's a thing. That's just like very difficult to see. Like that is, again, it is very difficult to like believe in those things. It's not, again, it's not that I don't want to believe you, but I feel like those are just things that you've seen before. Like, for example, like I'm absolutely a fascist. Okay, come on. My ex's girlfriend's boob. Wait a minute. Your ex had a girlfriend? How does that work? But that person's boob mysteriously disappear and reappear depends on clothes she was wearing. Like, entire boobs don't just disappear like that. Entire physical objects don't just disappear just like that. And specifically boobs. Why boobs specifically? See, that's why is it like a random finger? Why is it like a random teeth, or a random eyeball, or a random strand of hair, or a random leg that has disappeared? Why specifically a boob? That's kind of, yeah, no. I also have and I'm not trying to ridicule you guys, but it's just like, do you know where I'm getting at with this? But I also had a paranormal experience of my money disappearing because paranormal things. Like, that's the thing, it's very difficult. Like, it's really difficult to really pinpoint something about like paranormal stuff in general. Also, hey there, Byron. We already went over your thing, by the way, so you'll have to watch the video whenever it's on YouTube. But yeah, it's it's quite the experience, okay? But again, I wish that I could that I could figure out like this ghost thing. For example, I like the Conjuring movies, and I personally do not believe like what is happening in those movies, because of course it's a over dramatization of what happened, but it is still based on a true story about what was actually happening. Like, for example, in The Conjuring 2, there's like this little girl that has like a very deep voice. But it is still like, I could still hear that the girl could potentially just do that just by practicing things. Like, people can, like, that's why voice acting is a thing, by the way, because people can really make their voices very malleable. And like, that's the thing, like that little girl having like a very like deep, grouchy voice is something that it is not a means of evidence of what happened. What, for example, what I wouldn't believe, is there is someone that I don't know, right? Someone that I don't know, and that person doesn't know me, and for whatever reason, they know like every single detail about me, then I would believe like something or someone has told you that. otherwise, yeah. For example, I could go like for example, a random stranger that I would approach, and then I would ask like, can you tell me what happened in my life, every single detail, and they are able to do that 100% with no hesitation whatsoever, then I would believe in whatever paranormal things are out there. Do you see where I'm getting at with this? Like that would be like hard as evidence of something going on that shouldn't be in the realms of, you know, like this world or this universe, basically. Oh, no. The thing is, welcome to humanity, because if you go on Rule 34, there are still things that are still people, artists that make ghosts fuckable. I'm just saying, if it exists, there is porn of it. As in exist, as in the thought process of a fucking the thought process of something that exists, as in something that exists in our head, something that exists as a word, anything. Like even like, for example, the trash can that is sitting right next to you, someone probably made like a fuckable thing out of it. For example, that one plant over there, or that one computer mouse thing that you see right now, someone probably made it fuckable. Right, but I hope you enjoyed the little paranormal talk. I hope that has satisfied you, Ninja. But again, if people still want to continue on this, like if you still have any inputs or something like that, feel free to toss it in there. I'm watching the chat, so this is not just me talking. I want you guys to talk as well if you want to, of course. But yeah, I want you guys' input as well. It's not just me. I want to share opinions. So allow me to hydrate again. Okay, alright, cool. So I was able to just put my, what do you call those things again? Those controllers, those touch controllers somewhere on the side, so that my hands kind of look okay like this. Like it feels like a more natural pose. See, now I have my hands free, to be honest, so now I can just wave around and hydrate and drink and do whatever the fuck. Also, hey, Krieg, what's up? I feel like being a ghost, or if you would be a ghost, that I think if you would be a ghost, that is probably not going to be a very good experience for you in a sense of the way that you became a ghost. Right? Again, if they were real, but I feel like when people are ghosts, there has to be a specific reason why they are still here. Standing for tomorrow. Oh yeah, the learn sperm. There we go. Don't be stressed. The stress is going to be your worst enemy. Just do what you're supposed to do. Don't be a dickhead on the road, and just drive accordingly and have fun. Right? Have fun while you're at it. You are losing your mind. You'll be fine. So like you would go insane or become angry depending how you die. Yeah, I feel like the way that that you die and therefore become a ghost is going to heavily impact whether or not you are a ghost or not. However, I do feel like if every single being becomes a ghost, then it could also be a universal rule that everyone becomes a ghost anyway, but only a certain amount are going to be a very specific kind of ghosts. Or like a specific kind of ghost, not necessarily on that they are like that there is like a hierarchy and things. Like I don't think there is such a thing when it comes to ghosts, that there's a hierarchy. But more like there will be ghosts that have very valid reasons to do a little bit more what other ghosts can't do, but are very limited in doing so. But then again, if that would be the case, then ghosts, you would already know about these things. Dude, I wish that I could go like into like those haunted houses, or would that people say like this house is haunted and things are happening. That is something that I want to see for myself. Like would I be scared to like go into these houses? Absolutely. But whenever something is happening, and if it's just like doors slamming or something like that, I will not really believe that. I will not really believe that that is going to be the hard evidence of ghosts being here. Like there has to be other ways than just like slamming doors and windows opening and random noises that will explain ghosts. I don't think so. Again, it's not that I don't want to believe in ghosts. Like I want, like if they are real, and I do wish that they were, that again, I've already said my piece on this, but I'm so invested in like how did they become the ghosts that they are right now? How, like what happened to them to become like this? Like what is happening like beyond this veil of reality? And again, like that's also something. It's not, again, Byron, thank you for mentioning this, by the way, but that is also like something so bullshit in terms of where ghosts, or the only place where ghosts are supposed to reside. And mostly it will always be either at night or at nights in abandoned places. Why is that? Why can't they be public places? Why can't it be places that are very well lit? Why can't it be places where only one person is around? Why is it happening with multiple people? You know, things like that. It's always these very, very situational things that are like, yeah, there are ghosts here. And then like, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like there's always like these very situational requirements, or repeating or reoccurring rather, like reoccurring conditions for ghosts to be in, right? See, again, like I wish that I could go to that place and saying that it's haunted, I call bullshit. And I wouldn't mind, like, if I was a full-time streamer, for example. Again, sorry to bring this up, or not even that. Imagine if I won the lottery. See, not even full-time streamer. Screw that. Imagine if I would like have the liberty to go to that place whenever I fucking wanted. I would go there and actually go into and like check it out, and be like, okay, sure, okay, is this haunted? I don't know. It's probably nothing much gonna happen, but like I don't mind. Because people claiming something to be haunted is something that I will say I call bullshit. And that intrigues me more to actually investigate those places. Not to prove them wrong, but because I want to believe whatever they are saying is real. Like, that's something very cool. Like, imagine if I could see it, like, dude, you would count my ass that I would like, if I would experience one such thing, then I would be so invested in it that I would make it my life's mission to fully study everything. But again, whatever people are saying that it's haunted, nah. Again, it's, see, again, it's these very stereotypical things. Why is it a tethered? Why is it always like those spooky clothes? It doesn't have to be. It could just be a fucking ghost in basketball shorts with a giant T-shirt of fucking Futurama on it or something like that. Why isn't it something like that? Why isn't it always like these very old clothing things and shit like that? Why is it always that? Yeah, why isn't it like a fucking giant mascot ghost? Why isn't it a giant, how would I say it? Why isn't it like a police officer ghost? Or why is it not a, fucking kid ghost with like fluffy shoes and like a cap on with like a little propeller on top of it? Like, why aren't it those things? Yeah, for example, like in 80s, like weren't there like any, or like a World War II, like ghosts, for example, in military uniforms and shit like that? Why is it always like, whenever it's females, that it's always like either like this very tattered dress or this very long, spooky, whatever the fuck gown that they're all wearing, right? So why is it always like that? See, that's why, again, I don't believe in those things, because it's always the same stereotypical things, and it makes no sense for only fucking like wedding dress ghosts to be a thing, right? That would be kind of crazy though, right? Where is Golf Murray? Yeah, exactly. Why isn't there like a hot, sexy ghost, right? Where are the sexy ghosts? Why do they always have to be scary? Why can't they just be like teasing hot ghosts, right? Yeah, exactly. Like there are so many people that have died. Not all of them die in wedding dresses. That's also like a consistency to why I don't believe that they're real, but I want them to be real. Yeah, why isn't there a ghost with a giant fucking boner? No, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Ghosts shouldn't have a requirement to only appear as something scary, because that also makes absolutely no sense. That also makes no sense. Why couldn't ghosts, why couldn't they be sexy? And exactly, if a cosplayer dies in that costume, see? Like, for example, if someone cosplays as a very sexy Harley Quinn, for example, they die in that outfit and they come back as a ghost. Why aren't they being shown like that then? No, but that's the thing. It shouldn't be. It doesn't make any sense. If anything supernatural is only going to be scary, then that means we're all screwed, aren't we? Like there has to be a balance in everything, right? There's always a good, there's always a bad, there's always a positive and a negative. How much you want to be like that, there's always such a thing in everything that we have. For every summer, there is a winter. For every, like in a battery, you have protons, neutrons. Like, not neutrons, electrons are negative. Right? Electrons, protons, yeah. Whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. Like, everything has a positive and a negative. So, if the paranormal exists, there is no way for it only to have a negative side to it. For example, like in the universe, you also have dark matter, which is something that actually exists, by the way. So from that side, we can also have like with the dark energy that exists or dark matter. This is something that people are still like very much investigating because it's a very, very, very complex thing to go into because we can't really measure it, at least for now. And from that, you just have matter or like matter, antimatter, right? To every positive, there is a negative. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing about ghosts, too, or anything paranormal. Why is it that paranormal stuff are always bound to be scary? Why can't it be positive? Why can't it be ghosts that are, like, telling them, like, yeah, everything's okay, everything's fine, heaven exists, thumbs up, I meant Jesus, you know, stuff like that. Why isn't that a thing? Why aren't people telling that about a ghost? Like, why aren't ghosts like going back and saying like, yeah, I've seen the future because I have basically lived forever, so I can pop in whenever the fuck I want. And I would just like to say that the winning lottery numbers are those numbers. Have fun. Like, that's something that I would do. Like, if I have someone, like for example, if I would have a kid. And again, when you are a ghost, you have an infinite amount of time, meaning that you can also technically time travel, right? So on that end, there'd be like, yeah, I'll just go to that point. Okay, so for example, the day after tomorrow, just like if I would be a ghost right now, and I have a kid today, and I died, and I have a kid today, I would just pop in to tomorrow and see like what the winning lottery numbers are. Go back to my kid and say like, hey, for the 22nd of August, use those numbers as the winning lottery numbers, and there you go. Like, that is something that I would do. So why hasn't something with paranormal stuff happened like that as well? Because it's always like when paranormal stuff is being discussed, it's always like something very negative. It's always just being scared the shit out of you. It's always like ghosts being very angry. It's always things being thrown around and people being killed and haunted and possessed and shit like that. Why is that? Why is it only negative things? That's why, again, I don't believe that whatever afterlife is there for people that believe in ghosts, that there's only a negative side to it. But sadly enough, that is usually the case of what people are saying and what people are believing. That they are seeing things that are super scary, that they've seen appearances that look fucking terrifying as hell. I'm like, why do they always have to be terrifying? Why do they always have to be at night? Why do they always have to be when someone's alone? Why does it always have to be in abandoned places or haunted schools or this or that? There's all these fucking situational things that I'm like, how convenient do you guys have to be? Fuck. Like, then being a ghost seems like very counterintuitive, now does it? Do you have any idea what a good moment it would be if I could see my grandma again as a ghost? Do you have any idea how much reassurance that would give to me? Like this, like so much shit that I would want to tell my grandma. Again, she's passed away like a very long time ago. But that is something like I would want to be able to show my grandma, like, hey, I'm okay, I have a place now, and I didn't foresee your warning back then because I was a child and I didn't understand what you said by, I won't be here for much longer, which is something she literally said to me. So yeah, I was just so unknowing and I really regret not spending more time with her. Yeah, for example, my dogs though, like I've had dogs in the past, which I'm like, I wish I could see them again. So yeah, why aren't they coming back? But yeah, fun story. It's not really a fun story, but it is something that did happen though. When I was around, let's say 13 years old, becoming 14, my grandma was dying basically, and I couldn't really see it. And that's like the tricky part. I couldn't see that she was dying. Of course, she was old, obviously, it's my fucking grandma. And like we were watching TV, and then at a certain point, she said, like, yeah, I just want you to know that I'm probably not gonna be around here for much longer. And at that time, I didn't understand what she meant by that. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I didn't really know what she meant by that. And then as I became 14, so not too long after, she passed away. And I was like, oh, that's what she meant. I know it sounds silly, but like that is something that I wish that I would have known from the start, then I would have spent so much more time with her, but I didn't realize it. So that is something, again, if ghosts are real and if my grandma would be, you know, coming back, I would like to say to her, like, yeah, I'm sorry for being stupid when I was a kid. And, you know, I want to, you know, like, yeah, I have a driver's license, I have a house, I'm doing okay for myself. You know, something reassuring because it was something that my grandma really wanted to see. But yeah, it's a very difficult thing. But yeah, that's the thing that we don't know. Like, there are so many theories about what ghosts are or aren't, basically. Also, Violet, thank you for the sub to Krieg. Enjoy those emotes, Krieg, and hope you're having a wonderful time in this lovely conversation that we're having. Can ghosts come? I have no idea. I don't think so. Let's see. We have another thing that I would like to move on to. So, Marcus asked us, or said, I would like to know more about what or how you got into gaming and what other hobbies that you might cut. I have so many troubles trying to read whatever you guys are saying. First Restmore and now you, Marcus. What are you saying? I will literally read what's I would like to know more about what/how you got you into gaming and what other hobbies that you might other than gaming and how it has affected your life, both good and if there is any bad thing that has happened, if you are comfortable talking about it. Holy shit. My brain just fucking exploded on itself trying to read what okay, so what I understand from this, how did I get into gaming? Basically my dad. So that was it. So what happened is my dad introduced me to gaming, and that was with a very old PC, of course, back in the day, was Windows 98. I think we had, I don't know, did Windows 95 exist, by the way? Because I vaguely remember something existing other than 98. But it was on a Windows 98 for sure that I mostly played Doom on. So my dad introduced me to Doom and it was like with floppy disks. Okay, so 95 did exist. Okay, so we did own it because people kept telling me like, yeah, Windows 95 doesn't exist, and I feel like it really did. So yeah, we did first have Windows 95, but I didn't really remember actually playing on it. I just vividly remember using Windows 98. Then with floppy disks, we were playing Doom. And I remember that there was like an icon, like back in the day, I think you can still do it now, that we had Doom installed on a PC itself without the floppy disks. We kind of extracted it. I have no idea how my dad did it. But we had the full version, and I changed the icon of Doom into, because it was just the MS-DOS icon basically, and I changed it to like this Morningstar thing because I thought it looked cool. So I was mostly playing Doom, and that's how I got into gaming. And then my dad was like, yeah, you gotta use these codes and this code, just use these two. It was basically just only 2 codes, even though there are way more codes in Doom. And the codes that he gave me was, and in this case, we have an AZERTY keyboard. So that would be IDDAD and IDKFA. And I know for QWERTY, it's different. IDDQD and IDKFQ, right? But considering that we have another layout for our keyboard, the Q gets replaced with an A. So what the first code did is, so IDDAD, or QD for the English one, or anyone else that isn't living in Belgium or France, basically gives you God mode. And the other code, IDKFA or IDKFQ, would give you all YAML and all the keys. And those were the 2 keys, or the 2 cheat codes that my dad gave me, like just use those and enjoy the game. And that's what I did. And I played using, like, I didn't know that you could use the mouse. So I used the arrow keys to move back and forth and, you know, move, well, not really move, but more like look left and right. I didn't even strafe back then. But of course, like, how old was I? Come on. So I used the arrow keys to move around and look around. So left and right would be to aim left and right, then up and down for moving forward and backwards. And then I used control to shoot. That's what I did. So I played through Doom using cheat codes, just moving around on the maps, just using those controls, which was very slow, but I was having fun. And I specifically really remember, or had a specific map being my favorite, which was E3M6, which is Mount Erebus. The reason why I like that map so much is because in that map there are so many monsters like closely packed to one another. And I just loved just going around the entire map, not really fighting anyone, but activating every fucking demon in that area, just activating them so that they will all infight with one another. The moment that I passed all those points where you trigger all the monster closets and things like that, I would save, and then I would just look around and just see how all the demons are fighting one another. And that was really cool. That's why I still remember it as my favorite map, because there's so much shit happening at the same time. But then after Doom, my dad was like, yeah, I got this CD-ROM of like all these free games you want to try, and were all these demos. So there was all these demos of old games, well, back in the day, new games, that we could play. For example, the shareware of Heretic and Hexen were on there. So that's how I got introduced to that. But my dad like couldn't really understand the game. And oh, by the way, as a kid, I never played Doom 2. I was only like in my early teen years that I started playing Doom 2 after I discovered that Doom had multiplayer. And that was around the age of like 15 or something like that. Like at the age of 15, that's when I discovered Skulltag, which was the older version of Xandronum. Which one had the Into Sandy City? Well, that's definitely Doom 2, and I think it's map 7 or 9. I know that it's called The Pit, and it's actually the shittest map in Doom 2, but it has the best soundtrack. So yeah, we had Heretic, for example. We had Duke 3D as a shareware version, and then we had these other games. There's this one game called Jurassic War that we play, which is like a Korean old as fuck game, again back then very new, and it is basically a strategy game of like prehistoric war, but you had like these different factions with mages and dinosaurs and shit. That was really cool. And I still played it. I still played it afterwards. Like I think about a year or two ago, I still played it, like using DOSBox. Yeah, Jurassic War, exactly. Like if you look it up, Jurassic War, and you see like this very old like RTS with like with like dinosaurs and mages and shit. That's what I played. I could say I play it now, but I don't know. It feels weird to play it because I always hated the voice lines for the characters in there, because it sounds very, very ooga booga basically, and that's literally what they are saying. So it's kind of silly, but it was also really bad. It's like the sound effects felt very beefy for the time, and the really fun part about that game is it is an RTS, but every individual unit can be customized in terms of what their specialty is. Like for example, you could train them specifically for certain purposes, which was really cool. So for example, mages would have to focus on training MP, which would be magic power, so that they have the biggest DPS possible and basically nuke everything, right? But you could also manually focus those mages to specify in long-range combat, meaning that they can't really use spells, but their basic attacks are so OP in a sense that they can reach so fucking far that like they're not mages anymore, they're just fucking archers at that point. But that's really a cool thing about that. But again, like Jurassic War, look it up on YouTube. You're gonna see some very interesting things. And also, another thing that I really loved about games back then is that there was not really a limitation on how many sounds are played at the same time. Like nothing is overlapping in that game, meaning that every sound that is being produced, you will hear it. There are no overlapping sounds. And that is such a cool thing, because it gets really chaotic then, and you really get the feeling that there is an all-out war going on with so much shit going on that you're thinking like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And then you just see everyone just like fucking archers shooting the shit out of each other with either poison arrows or fire arrows or regular arrows. People with swords and shields. In the meantime, there's dinosaurs everywhere, like being rampant. There's mages. There are healers. Like it's so, for the time that the game was released, it was really, really cool. So that is how I got into gaming, basically. It all started with Doom. Some other hobbies that you might, that I might have, I guess, other than gaming. Well, I used to do airsoft like a lot more, but I don't do it anymore. It's been, what, 2 years now since the last airsoft event that I went to. So yeah, it's something that also, yeah, in terms of money that I need to be wary of. But also, yeah. Like archery has also been a very long time now that I think about it. Also me riding my motorcycle, I used to do a lot more joyrides, but again, expenses. Expenses that I need to be wary of. Like a lot of my hobbies, they do cost money, not necessarily much, but I've come to the point that I want to save as much as I can. And if it therefore means for me to sacrifice my hobbies, then I don't really mind. Like that's okay for me. Like I don't really have any other hobbies now that, yeah, though I don't have any other hobbies. Like, I used to play drums, but again, that's also like something very long ago, and I don't have a drum anyway. But yeah, I didn't really have any other hobbies. But is there a, well, Mark, I see here that you said like, wait, let me read this again. And how it has affected you, your life, both good and if there is any bad thing that had happened. Do you mean bad things in terms of that came out of gaming or just in general? Just nothing interests you anymore or time constraints? Both. It's definitely the time constraints thing. What about Dungeons and Dragons, as in D&D? Would you like to try it? I have not tried D&D, and the closest thing that I did play to D&D would be Neverwinter Nights. I still have the game. And the reason why I liked Neverwinter Nights a lot more than just regular D&D, I've seen D&D being played, but for me it felt like it takes way too long for things to happen. And with Neverwinter Nights, it automatically does all the roles for you. And that's really cool. Like the fighting in Neverwinter Nights is so cool though. Like you actually see your character parrying or dodging attacks. Like that's so cool. Like if you see two monks fighting each other, it's like you're watching a Dragon Ball Z fight. Like that's so fucking cool. And like just the flexibility of multi-classing is also really cool. And then you have like the piece of shit rogues that, you know, that are, you know, typically just being rogues. But then you had like these arcane archers, for example, which had a really high affinity for the listen and spot checks. So you can actually see rogues even when they're hiding, which is really cool. But there used to be a server that I went to, or that I played, called Ailstorm Lord of the Rings. And it was a mod that was basically what started me in playing MOBAs, because the mod itself was actually a MOBA. We had 3 lanes, we had certain sections which were defended by defenders, in that case, or turrets in, you know, in MOBA terms. But then you could play those arenas with your characters in Neverwinter Nights. You could fully customize your own character and then just, you know, beat the shit out of each other. And then the first one to kill the enemy's boss wins. And that's what got me started into MOBAs. Right now, Neverwinter Nights is like the multiplayer servers are mostly roleplay, and I'm not really that keen on roleplaying. Yeah, it is basically a module. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like modules in Neverwinter Nights are basically like map packs or mods or whatever the fuck. But yeah, like Ailstorm, Lord of the Rings, I will always remember that as a very fun thing that I kept playing over and over again. Like the matches could last fucking days though. Like it was insane just how long these matches fucking lasted. Alright, sorry, I had to hydrate because I could feel my my vocal cords being very, very raspy, even more than they already are. But yeah, that is something that that I definitely enjoyed. Neverwinter Nights, definitely. Oh yeah, then, you know, how did I get into Metroid, for example? Metroid was first introduced to me by my brother. Again, me and my brother, we don't really, like, get along well. But, Metroid was, as in the game, not the person, was introduced to me as a kid when I was around 8 to 9 years old, maybe even younger. And we had this on the Game Boy Advance SP, what, you know, the fucking flip cover, that's not really a cover, just like the folding Game Boy Advance, basically. And, yeah, I thought it was like a very cool robot that I was playing at. I was like, okay, cool, so this is like Doom or something, right? And the first Metroid game that I played was Metroid Fusion. So I was just playing like this, and I thought, like, yeah, this is a really cool robot with an arm cannon. There's very spooky things, and there's another robot that tries to kill us. And then at the end of the game, I was like, wait a minute. I was playing as a Che the entire time? What the fuck? And then I just started playing it again, and then my world fucking changed. And that's how I became very, very interested in ladies. So, with that, then of course I obviously I was just checking, like, okay, so Metroid is a thing, as in the game. I knew that it was Samus, that her name is Samus. Also, thanks to Super Smash Bros. Melee, that I was like, oh shit, she's in here too. But now that I remember, I think I even played Melee before I played Fusion. So back then, when I first played Melee, I definitely thought, like, okay, this cool robot with that charge ball cannon thingy, like, that's so cool. And then I played Fusion, and then it all clicked, like, oh shit, okay, so this is the same person, it's Samus, it's a chick, she taught as fuck. And then, of course, I started looking at more things for Metroid, and then I played, so after Fusion, I played Prime 2, which is also, you know, we've played Prime 2 together, which is one of my favorite, if not, I think, like, isn't my all-time favorite Metroid game? I think it's safe to say that it is. Then I played Zero Mission. I know, the timeline's going everywhere. So, fucking Fusion, to Prime 2, to Zero Mission, to, what did I play then? I think it was Prime 3, then Other M. And then I played AM2R. I know, I'm going everywhere with this. And then after AM2R, yeah, there was nothing really else that I could be playing because there was no Metroid game after the Other M. So then the next Metroid game that I played then was Metroid Dread. Is that the idea where I got the? Yes, totally. Totally. That's the idea of why I'm a robot right now. But yeah. And then, of course, with like the Metroid thing, automatically I got very invested in all things Nintendo. Did we finish Dread? We never played Dread on stream. But I did finish Dread. So, so obviously with Metroid comes Nintendo. With Nintendo, I was like, okay, cool. So we have a Game Boy Advance. Like, are there any other cool games in this thing? And then I discovered F-Zero GP Legends on the Game Boy Advance. So that is something that I played. And then from GP Legend, like, dude, the soundtrack in GP Legend is fucking amazing. I was like, oh, cool. Wait a minute. There's another F-Zero game on the fucking GameCube. And then I got F-Zero GX. And that's how I got like very invested with all things F-Zero because it's a fucking cool game. Like I was not really ever truly interested in anything that has to do with Mario or Zelda. Like it felt really boring to me. So that's why I didn't bother. There is another Nintendo franchise that I did play, emulated though, mind you. There were two games that I played, emulated on my PC back then. So we had like a Windows XP PC, and I think my brother was able to get like Visual Boy Advance, like it's an emulator thing that you can still get, by the way, on the PC, and he got Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town on the thing, and I think Kirby, but then like something with the mirrors. I forgot the title. And I remember with this Kirby game that you had like 3 other Kirbys that were following you around that you could like kick some ass together. And that was kind of fun. And also kind of like the music of the game. So that is like the only other, or like the Kirby game that I played back then. It could be Mirror World, I'm not entirely sure. But it was definitely something with mirrors, and that you had like other Kirbys helping you out. And then with Harvest Moon, like Friends of Mineral Town, I was like really like interested in like, okay, cool, Harvest Moon, you have like your little plants, your cows and your things and your that. And then I discovered on the GameCube, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. And my God, did I know life that game. I know. It's kind of hypocritical considering that I now shit on those open world farming RPGs, right? But back then, like, you didn't really have any of those games. Like, Harvest Moon was like the only one that had that, and that's why I will always see Harvest Moon as like the best and the OG farming game. So with Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, like it's a very long game. You could play that game for years and it wouldn't end. Like, it's insane how long that game is. And then, of course, yeah, with Stardew Valley, with Harvest Moon, Sprouted, Stardew Valley, and all those things. Because I felt like if there was a multiplayer game, like, well, in a sense of Harvest Moon, like, would that actually be a thing? And then I stumbled upon Stardew Valley, and, you know, that's how it happened. That's how we got into Stardew, kinda, more or less. And then also another thing that my brother introduced me to was Time Splitters. My brother was like, yeah, a friend of mine told me that this game is really cool. So yeah, I bought the game. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And then we played the game. And then I was like, okay, these characters are actually kind of cool. And my favorite character back then, first, was the R110, as in the robot that you play with whenever you get to like the later storylines or the later missions. You know, that one robot that dies at the end, or that disappears at the end rather. with the funky personality that he got from a virus, right? Basically, the last sidekick in Time Splitters. That was firstly my favorite character because I thought he looked cool and it kind of reminded me of Samus, and that's why I went with that one. So yeah, I messed around with that game here and there, and that's why I still love it to this day, obviously, as you've seen before. And then later on, I rediscovered this fascination for Jo Beth Casey, which is like the goth girl with like the red thing and the teddy bear on her back. Because like that one scene where Cortez gets kicked in the balls is still so fucking funny, where his voice like all cranks up. It's like all high pitched and shit. It's so fucking funny. But those are mostly the games that I played on the GameCube then. Then on the Wii, then of course we had Other M and Prime 3, Smash Brawl basically. What else did we have on the Wii? Oh right, Call of Duty 4 and Call of Duty 5. Those were two games that I had on the Wii and that I played together, well specifically 4, with Lunta. But I also had Call of Duty 5 World at War on the Wii, which is something really fun. Like, I remember staying up late as night with like my lights turned on, and back then I had a very, very small room. So it was just like when you enter my room, like you were already like seeing like my closet, like a few feet away from, well, feet, a few meters, like because Americans, away from you, and then like within a meter, you already would have my bed. I had a very, very small room, and I had like a TV, and then I would like turn off the lights in the middle of the night and then only have my TV on. And then it was like this giant white light of, my TV coming in. So that was really fun that I was just like playing Call of Duty with a Wiimote, mind you. So aiming was okay. But I really enjoyed it. And then another game that I got on the Wii was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. So that was also something that I was really interested in because of the movement in the game, characters in the game, and obviously it's fucking Dragon Ball. And then I discovered fucking Berter of how fast he is and how punchy he is. And that's why I'm really hoping in Sparking Zero, which is technically Tenkaichi 4, that he's gonna be just as fun to play. Also, Krieg, do enjoy your studying, alright? But be sure to take enough time to rest as well. Resting is important. Alright, but yeah. Has there anything bad happened about or with gaming or through gaming? As far as I can remember, not really, no. Oh wait, yeah. What happened? Well, okay, what is a bad thing that happened to me in gaming? Would be League of Legends. I wish I never played that game. Dude, the amount of laptops, the amount of keyboards that I fucking wrecked when I was a young teen playing League. Holy shit. I was absolutely a violent bitch. Oh my god. Dude, if you thought I was bad now, you should have seen me back then. I was like, if you thought that angry German kid was like the pinnacle of being pissed and just smashing shit, you haven't seen anything yet how I was when I played League. At least back then, the entire laptops got destroyed by me though. But yeah, I had, let's just say that back then, I'm still a kid with issues in the sense of, are these issues like something that I was born with? No. It's mostly like something or a lot of shit happening in my life that I really wasn't happy with. Long story short. So yeah, and League was kind of the catalyst to make things really, really worse. So yeah, but that's okay. Like, especially with video games like League, it is like the reason why we're frustrated at the game is because it is still the issue that is today in League, and that is the community. It's just that you get fucked over so hard by your teammates that nothing feels like in your hand, even though you're trying really, really hard to win. But for whatever reason, your teammates are fucking you up, intentionally that is, and they're not being punished for it. And it's still like that. It is still unchanged of how bullshit the game is. What do you... Oh, the game. Okay, I was gonna say, are you talking to me? What do you mean I'm shitty? I wouldn't wreck you in League. Fuck you. Yeah, I highly advise you not to play the game. Even though I sometimes play it, I really advise you not to play it. It's like smoking, but it's just worse. Like, like anyone that has played League, and you're asking them, like, hey, should I play League? About 95% of those people are gonna say that you shouldn't be playing it. Let's see. Let's move on here. I mean, we kind of covered this topic already, but another thing that's been asked here, since the spooky month is coming, we can talk about what kind of horror games, film stories we like. But yeah, we kind of covered that aspect, didn't we? As for favorite horror games, I mean, I guess, you know, with Phasmo being a thing, if I had to compare, like, the scariest game to me personally would be Devour, I think. The issue with, well, sorry, an issue. The gimmick of Devour is that you will have to face the like the demon that you're trying to exorcise. You will have to face them head on, like face first, like actually face first to actually deal with them. And that's the scary part. That's why it keeps me on edge. Like, Devour will always have me on edge, no matter how many times I played it. Compared to Phasmo, Phasmo doesn't really feel like a scary game to me anymore. It used to at the beginning, when I was new to it, of course, because I didn't know what the fuck was happening, and I didn't know, like, when the ghosts would be hunting, or when the ghosts can kill us. But now that I kind of know the ins and outs of the entire game, nothing really spooks me because I can already expect things to happen, right? For newer players, that's something entirely different because you don't know what to expect. Like, that's something that I wish I could go back to like first time playing Phasmo, because that sensation, whenever you enter a house in Phasmo, especially when you're new, and you hear like the silent noise basically of the building that you're in, Like that is such a dreading feeling. But right now, to me, it's just, you know, I've already been here a million times, so it doesn't really faze me anymore. The only way that I would be kind of scared of Phasmo is if the ghost pops up right in my face. But then it's not really being scared, it's more like being startled. There's a difference. Like if something randomly appears, like it could be literally anything, randomly appears in front of my face, then of course I would just be startled. Like, what the fuck, you know? Was I ever scared of the SAX? Absolutely. Dude, the first time that I heard those footsteps, dude, oh my god, I shat my pants. I shat my pants so many times. Like every time, like especially that one, I think the first bit where you had to, it was in sector 3? Wait, was it sector 3? Was it sector, wait, which one is the ice thing? Was that, no, it's not 3. 4? I don't remember. But the ARC, basically the ARC sector in Fusion, there's this one bit where you have to like use a power bomb to go then to the left to, you know, to progress in the thing, but the SAX won't leave. So you have to time the power bomb correctly, but back then I didn't know. So I just dropped the power bomb and it hit the SAX, and then you hear the fucking music, the chase music, and I was just like screaming like crazy at my fucking, you know the meme of the kid in Monsters, was it in Monsters Inc? That is like screaming like crazy, like the one meme, you know what I'm talking about, right? That was me whenever I was chased by the SAX. Like every time, it just like this fucking bullshit thing that you cannot kill. So I was like really happy that at the end of Fusion that you could actually, you know, dig something back against her. But yeah, what we're talking about, oh yes, spooky games. So yeah, if something randomly would appear in my face, then I would just be startled. It wouldn't be scary to me. Like for example, as the ghost popped up in my face, it doesn't really scare me. It's just more startling. However, there are plans for a Phasmo update in which that there will be like illusions and hallucinations and new models and things like coming in. That's when I will be scary again. Or, well, scary. That's when I will be scared again of the game, because I don't know what's going to happen. That's the thing. That's usually what, you know, fear is also kind of built on. You just don't know what to expect, and you don't want to be in danger. But you have to be in danger because of the game. So yeah. As another game, though, that we could play, and this is something that I would like to play, though, together with you guys. Which is basically exactly like Phasmo. And the game would be Demonologist. However, you do need a very okay PC to run that game, because it's a lot heavier compared to Phasmo. The graphics are way better than Phasmo. The tools are not exactly that like that extensive as in Phasmo, even though they're the exact same ones. But the difference with Phasmo is that you have these tiers of items, so it feels like you have like a shitload of items to work with in Phasmo, but technically they all do the same thing, just better or worse. While in Demonologist, you always have those tools at your disposal, but also they are just the maximum tier or the only tier that you can work with. Yeah, Demonologist is also something. So if, for example, if people were saying like, okay, if I would have to pick between Phasmo or Demonologist, which one would you pick? If that question is being asked to me, I would ask them first, what do you expect in your ghost game? Do you expect the game to be scary, or do you want the game to be more focused on the ghost hunting? If the answer is I want to hunt the ghost properly, then I would suggest Phasmophobia. Phasmo has, like, again, with all those tools, it feels more like a detective game, so to say, rather than being scared. Is it scary for the first time? Definitely. But after a while, it's not really more about being scared, it's more about figuring out which ghost is it. It's more like a whodunit situation, like, right? It's just figuring out what are we dealing with, that's it, right? Do what to the ghost hunting? So as for the other instance, if people are wanting to have a scary experience with like ghost games, but want a scary experience, then I would definitely recommend Demonologist. Demonologist is still a work in progress, as is Phasmo, but Demonologist is a lot more new. So there are still a lot of things that need to be changed or need to be updated, and they're working on it slowly but surely. But Demonologist is way more focused on scaring the shit out of you rather than figuring out what the ghost is. Another interesting part about Demonologist is that even when you have figured out what the ghost is, there is still another section to the game. Like, the game doesn't end there. There are still bonus objectives to exorcise the demon or the ghost, whatever, in Demonologists. And that's also a really cool part about it, that you actually have a way to get rid of the ghost that you were trying to find out in the first place. While in Phasmo, you can only, like, that's the only thing you can do. You cannot beat the ghost, basically. You can never beat the ghosts in Phasmo. While in Demonologist, you can. So again, it really depends on what you guys would like to experience. I feel like Demonologist is something that I should play again with Vanta. So that we can have those scares again. Like, again, fair warning for anyone that might pick up Demonologist, just realize that the game is hell-bent on, like, scaring the shit out of you. It is also really interesting that the ghosts in Demonologist will automatically talk to you, even if you don't have a spirit box. But that it will talk to you and, like, say certain things that you should listen to, whether or not they are important or not. And that's really cool too. You have these sound cues of ghosts actually talking to you, like full-on sentences, not just like you have in Phasmo, that is just like some random radio static crap. And that's something, by the way, that I didn't like about the Phasmo update, that before with the spirit box, if you would ask things like, where are you? How old are you? Are you cold? Are you friendly? Is that the ghost would actually reply with a voice of their own. And that was really cool. But now it's just like random radio static that you hear, and that is something that I really find like a huge downgrade of Phasmo. Like, I want to hear the ghost. I don't want to hear random static. I just want to hear the ghost itself. And that was something really cool. Like, if you would ask those questions like, how old are you? Where are you? Then you would, like, hear, like, that they are old, that they are far, that they will attack you, you know, things like that. Like, that was really cool, like, to actually hear the ghosts themselves talking to you. And Demonologists, sadly enough, that doesn't really happen with the spirit box either. As in, if you use the spirit box and you get a response, something will just, like, light up on your device, like a little ghost icon, and then some radio static. But aside from that, even without the spirit box, you would still sometimes hear the ghost directly talking to you, and that's really cool. So yeah, for example, Marcus, I'm sure that you would definitely enjoy Demonologist. Definitely. However, do I think that your PC can handle Demonologist? absolutely not. But I would really like to play with you, though. That would be very interesting. Yeah, to run Demonologist, like, you can try. Marcus, you can try the game, but I feel like your laptop is going to be overheating like crazy, that you would be able to fucking cook a fucking egg on the damn thing. Unless they really optimized it, but usually, even when I boot up a Demonologist on my PC, it goes like full airplane mode. Not that that's something really weird. Like my GPU and CPU are actually fine, but for whatever reason, whenever Demonologist is being played, like all of my fans are just going like super crazy. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. It's just gonna explode. It's just gonna... No, it's not gonna explode. It's just gonna implode of just the things that is happening. But again, like a very interesting thing about Demonologist compared to Phasmo is that the models in Demonologist for the ghosts are also something that you haven't seen in Phasmo, for example. That's something cool. As in, even I don't know. Like, I'm very new when it comes to Demonologist. That game still scares the shit out of me because it can actually scare the shit out of you whenever it wants to. And like, if I would do like the same kind of lessons that I would do here, like in Phasmo, like, you know, doing these no evidence runs and be like, yeah, if the ghost does this, it's that one, or if the ghost does that, it's gonna be this one. That is something that I cannot do in Demonologist, at least not yet. Because I'm not sure if they've changed that, but I think they did. Before in Demonologist, you could not run away from the ghosts, in the sense that eventually it will always find you. So the important part about that is whenever you see the ghosts that is hunting you, you just have to be lucky enough that it's far enough for the hunt not to last as long, and if it did find you, to be able to run away. That was the whole idea of Demonologists, as in, you just have to be lucky enough that it's not too close to you when it starts hunting, so that at the end of the hunt that you still have some breathing room to run away. That's also not a cool thing about Demonologist. The ghosts in Demonologist also have their very unique gimmicks that you do not see in Phasmo. For example, as Doku said here, walk around in Demonologist calling the ghost a bitch. Funnily enough, there is a ghost that specifically hunts a person that is talking shit to the ghosts. That is really cool, though. So I remember this one time where Lenta and I were playing Demonologist, and we had a feeling that it was going to be that one ghost. And Lenta was like going like, yeah, you're a fucking bitch ghost, you pussy, where are you? Like, fight me, come here, might over here, you're scared, you're a fucking pussy, this and that. You know, over and over again. And suddenly, the ghost started hunting, and I was in front of the ghosts, and the ghost just walked past, like, right through me. So the ghost ran right through me, and I just went for Lenta instead. I just looked behind me, and I saw Lenta just running away and screaming. As the sound like fades away, like I just heard like a faint scream in the background. Let's just run away. Oh, so funny. So yeah, Lenta died then. But yeah, that's also a really cool thing about Demonologists, is that the ghosts also have their very unique gimmicks. And again, the atmosphere in Demonologist is way scarier compared to that in Phasmo. Again, the game is fucking designed to scare the shit out of you. And again, I wish we could play Demonologist with more people. And perhaps by the time that Marcus gets a somewhat better PC, like again, you don't need to like the end of the what do you call that? And it's not end of the at the top of the whatever the fuck state's PC or something to run the game. It's just that you just need a way better PC that doesn't run Age of Empires like a slideshow simulator. If you cannot really have that, then I feel like demonology is also not really going to be a problem. Top of the line? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's also a thing then that I do enjoy in terms of horror games. And then Devour, don't get me fucking started. I wanted to play that like on VR, but I feel like I'm just gonna scream like a bitch every time that I play that game. I'm already scared as is when I play that game, so. Oh, another fun thing about Demonologist, you can customize your characters. Like, I look sexy as fucking Demonologist. I don't think Pandemonium has the game. Does he have the game? I know that Lunta has it, but Panda, I'm not entirely sure. Specifically Demonologist? I don't know. Why do I not remember that? Could be though. No, we've played Devour. No, we've played Devour with Pandemonium. That's something that I do vividly remember. Yeah, we played Devour. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember him having Demonologists. We did play Devour, that's for sure. Yeah, with Lenta. Yeah, that's something that we did do, like with the fucking spider lady and shit like that. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, but that's okay. Like, games are very similar anyway, so. But Devour is a difficult game, though. Devour is a very difficult game. Because again, you need to, like, that's the scary part. The scary part about Devour is you have to fight the fucking, like, possessed demon person thing. Like, face first, like, very close quarters. Like, it's insane how fucking scary that is. And again, like, when you're playing solo, there's no one else to help you with. And that's the thing, there are so many things that you need to do to get that thing, you know, to beat them. There's so many things that you need to do. Yeah. Content warning to me though, like I did play it, but it felt like way too much like Lethal Company. And personally, it didn't really feel like scary or to the point that it would also be funny, because that's the whole gimmick, right? Like that's the whole gimmick of content warning, is just like being able to record like scary things here and there, but it doesn't always result in something super funny. And that's the issue that I had, is that it wasn't always like something super funny that you would laugh your shit off, you know? Like, for example, in Lethal Company though, and say what you want, but Lethal Company has like these random moments that just make things so much more funny. But it also has to do with just how goofy the characters are in the game. So yeah, who knows? We might play Lethal Company again. We'll see. What do I think of psychological existential horror? Care to have care to give any examples? I have no fucking clue what DDLC is. Oh, I don't know. I haven't played it. I know, like, I've seen it being played, but I don't know. It feels a bit wonky, I guess. I don't know. It's not really something that I don't know. It doesn't really do something for me. Silent Hill. So I haven't really seen too much of that. I know that it's scary as hell, though. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played too much of those things to actually like validate whatever opinion that I have about it, because I have way too little information on that. But yeah, I suppose that kind of concludes some all the paranormal stuff that we have discussed before and now. Also, I need to go to bed soon because work sucks. So let's see. Dragon as the food you like. I need meal ideas. As for meal ideas, what could I recommend? I mean, if you want to have some pasta with anything. Yeah, that's basically my approach. Just pasta with fucking literally anything. You cannot do anything wrong with pasta except for mixing the wrong fucking sauces, and don't fucking add fruit to pasta. Just don't do that. But yeah, what I sometimes like to make is meatballs in tomato sauce with mashed potatoes, for example. What else? Again, mashed potatoes with spinach or cauliflower or broccoli. Not all three at the same time, but either one of those three with sausages. What else? I'm really recommending like typical Belgian, like not really traditional. It's kind of traditional. West Flemish food that we regularly eat though. What else? Oh, again, mashed potatoes again. Welcome to fucking West Flanders, where everything's all about potatoes. Some mashed potatoes with cow tongue and Madeira sauce. Dragon, are you shitting me right now, Dragon? Really? Dragon, really? You literally asked me the food that I like because you needed meal ideas, and I'm giving them. Then you're like, how? You're talking about food now? Yes, because you asked. God damn. Also, Ethan Minaltis, thank you. Thank you for the follow, and hope you're having a wonderful time. We are currently discussing some things that people wanted me to talk about. So welcome in, how are things? Wow, Daku's cheating on me again? Wow, look at that. And now I go to leave my server to fight a literal god. So Daku has his own server and deems our server not to be interactive enough, apparently, to spend time with us. I see how it is. Okay, so you've moved on from me. I see how it is. Okay, bye, Daku, have fun. But in terms of food, so cow tongue in Madeira sauce and mashed potatoes. And the Madeira sauce is usually with like slices of mushroom, which is really nice. So, what else is something that we like to eat? Oh, fries with mussels. As in, like if you just look up typical Belgian dishes, you'll find it. But fries with mussels, as in not the meat, but like the seafood, is also really good. Like in French, it would be called moule avec des frites. Which are just the same thing, just like mussels with fries. It's really nice because you then have to like pry open a little bit. You just have to like lightly open up the mussel and then fish them out. Well, fish just grab them out and then eat them, or like dip them in mussel sauce and then eat them that way. Like it's amazing. But do note, whenever you have a mussel and the shell doesn't open and you cannot open it whatsoever, leave that thing be. Do not eat that fucking mussel, because otherwise you're gonna get very sick. But yeah, speaking of mussels, they're actually like easy to harvest here in Belgium. At least they used to be, because I remember back in the day, my grandparents had a place at the sea, so at the beach, basically, like literally the apartment, like right there, like fucking 100 meters from, or maybe 200 meters from the beach, basically. And my grandfather was like, "Hey, you want to come catch some mussels?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it, let's fucking go." Again, I was very young back then. I was like, what, 6 or 7 years old. And he was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna put on my shoes, like these rubber shoes." And then he was like, "Yeah, here's your bucket, here's my bucket." I had like a little bucket, and I was just tagging along with him, just waddling beside him. And we would go to like the beach. You have these, I don't know what those things are called in English. Literally translated, it would be called wave breakers. I have no idea what these things are called in English, but it's like these structures of stone that are designed to make sure that the waves of the ebb and flow, right, isn't like going all crazy in our faces, basically. Waders, is that it? I don't know. Can be. But there's usually like these huge structures of stone that would, that would just stop like giant waves of just easily crashing into the beach. And those like mussels could easily be found there. Like they usually cling on hard surfaces. And so my grandfather was like picking them, and I was also finding some here and there. And then I heard my grandfather go like, "Motherfucker," well, just basically in Flemish. And what happened is a mussel bit him, in the sense of he tried to grab a mussel, but the mussel, as it was being grabbed, it just shut on my grandfather's thumb. And he was like, "Motherfucker." And he was showing me like, "Yeah, you better watch out for these mussels, because, tread carefully with those things." And like his fucking thumb was bleeding all over the place. It was kind of funny though. But it was kind of funny to see, because I heard him and then I saw him like flailing around his hand. Like whatever, like in cartoons, whenever like someone's hand is being bit by like a small dog, or by like is like getting caught by a mouse trap and then they start flinging it around their hand like that, like crazy to get it off. That's basically what my grandfather did with that fucking muscle. Didn't get away. No, mussels aren't really that agile. But yeah, he basically threw the mussel back in the sea. Right, Kree, just take care and take care in the sense of just take your time to rest as well, okay? It's good that you're studying, but resting and just relaxing, de-stressing can also do a lot of wonders. I mean, by saying that did it get away, it's like saying that, like, did it just fly away or something like that? Like, mussels don't really move that much on their own. But yeah, again, when a mussel is absolutely shut, you cannot really do anything with them. So, for example, when you have mussels, as in the food, seafood that we are discussing right now, and you're just grabbing one out of your cooking pot, and then you try to open one, but it does not want to open whatsoever. You need to use like a fork to really, use the leverage to open it up. Don't do that. When a mussel is not opened by itself, and you cannot open it by just just lightly opening it, and you cannot do that. As in, you need to use a shit ton of force of like trying to open it, and it still doesn't open. Leave that mussel alone. Please put that away, because that means that mussel is not good or not okay for eating. And if you would eat it, you will be like stupid sick, and I do not wish that upon you. Yeah, memories enough flowing back. Memories of my grandfather. Well, back then was actually my step-grandfather, because my real grandfather, I don't really remember him that much. Because my actual grandfather died really early. I was like, how old was I? Like 3 years old, something like that. My real grandfather died in a plane crash, so I didn't really get to meet him properly. I don't even have like a visual memory of what he looked like. So yeah, it's something that my dad likes to watch from time to time. Like he has this program on National Geographic called Air Crash Investigation or something like that. And one time, like, he was very emotional, and it was a thing. It was the investigation of that particular plane crash of what where my grandfather was basically involved in. So it is something that my dad was really invested in. Like he really hoped, after all that time, because again it was a really long time, that that plane crash happened, and I think not 8 or 9 years ago is finally on air crash investigation. And like he was very emotional, and he really wanted to know what happened, because he still didn't know what actually happened, in the sense of we knew that there was some kind of a malfunction, but it was never really specified what was going on. And then where with airplane or air crash investigation, like it didn't really bring some clarification to my dad. So it was like a very emotional moment for him. But yeah, as for me, like I haven't half watched it. I don't really remember. But yeah. My real grandfather, no visual memory of him. As for my grandmother, that I definitely do. And again, I really regret of not spending enough time with her, because back then I was already like very invested in video games. Like I was just playing Metro Prime 2 over and over again, Time Splitters, F-Zero. I was playing all that stuff, like what else with my Game Boy, just playing things. I was spending a lot more time there than I was spending time with my grandma. And if I would have known that, and if I would have been wiser back then I would have spent a lot more time with her. But back then, like, I'm a completely different person than what I was when I was, what, 13 years old? So yeah. So yeah, it's a thing that I will have to live, and that's like a big regret that I have, though. That's a big regret that I have. Like, fuck, I should have talked with her a lot more. I should have spent a lot more time with her. Yeah. But yeah, as for mussels, by the way, going back to mussels, when they are open, they're perfectly fine. When when they're closed, like as a professional mussel eater, I would say that, well, I would say it is just fact. Whatever a mussel is closed shut, don't fucking do that. Don't eat it. Yeah, it is. Back then, I didn't know shit, so I was busy struggling with my own things and trying to like cope with this video game as to deal with the bullshit that I had experienced. So yeah, well, it was difficult. Well, open is better, or if you can open them by yourself without using too much force, then that's also okay. But if they are slammed the fuck shut and they do not open whatsoever, do not eat it. Where are we going with this conversation anyway? But yeah, I lost my grandparents at a very young age, so again, my grandmother died at age 14, like 13, 14-ish. I don't have any grandparents left, so that's also something that really sucks. Well, if you, yeah. Please do. Like, again, that is a very huge regret that I have. Like, that I wasn't able to spend time with my grandparents. Like, my step-grandfather, as in the one that was bit by the mussel, like, he died of lung cancer, and so did my grandmother. Dude, they smoked so much. If you think that I smoke a lot, like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. Like, they smoked, like, 2 to 3 packs a day. Like, that's something really crazy. So yeah, I think it was kind of, yeah, my grandparents that kind of got me into smoking, thanks to them. So yeah, my step-grandfather died of lung cancer, and I still remember, like, visually seeing him slowly die in his bed, which is kind of creepy. It was unsettling, but I also felt really bad for him because I could constantly see him in pain. I constantly just hear him say, like, ow, 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 like constantly. It was, I wish I could do something. And then, yeah, after like a few weeks of seeing him like that, then, yeah, he just died. And then my grandmother, and again, we all know that story. She just died randomly, again, lung cancer, but she just died like when I didn't expect it, right? Because again, like a few weeks before that she said, or a few weeks before she died, she said, like, yeah, just be worried that I'm not going to be here for much longer anymore, which again, I already said that. I didn't know what she meant by that. And, you know, everything else has already been said. So, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wish I could have spent more time with them. Wow, you smoke tobacco in your pipe. Well, it depends again on what kind of tobacco. Like, if it's like authentic tobacco, you will be way better off. But like, your conventional means of cigarettes and whatnot is just filled with so much crap that it just fucks you up. Of course, right now you're not gonna have an issue with it, but just wait until you're 60. Because that's when my parents died. My grandparents died. They both died at the age of around 64 or something like that. So yeah, just so you know. As for the thing being shut, we were talking about mussels, as in the seafood. That whenever a mussel is slammed shut, do not open it. Like, if you can't open it by any conventional means or just by lightly opening it, do not eat it. Just leave the mussel alone, throw it away, and just try to eat another one. Yeah, and that's why you're very lucky to still have your grandparents. Again, I lost them when I was fucking 14. And that's kind of the scary part as well. One day we will also be that old, hopefully, at least that we will live a very healthy life. But again, as Metroid has also said, you can live very long, but in what state? Right? When I was a ambulance driver, I also had to take care, as in transport elderly people, sometimes with certain conditions that I felt really bad for them. I was still helping them nonetheless. Like, I did everything I could to help them, right? But it's so sad to see that people are like getting older, but then they are like getting stuck in this body that they have no control over. That's okay, Blizky. Take care. Just take your time to rest. Everything at your own pace, all right? I was indeed. What, dude, how many times have I said that before? I've mentioned that a couple of times that I was an ambulance driver. The craziest, well, the craziest, the derpiest or most intense thing that I had to deal with was like, I didn't do like the emergency things. It was more like the less serious things to like, it was a assisting faction of the, what you would call the 911, right? We were more like an assisting thing. Primarily focused on transport. All means of transport, that is, either people being really sick or people that need to be escorted to the ER or people that are immobile, you know, things like that. So what I had to deal with, solo, yeah, well, it's kind of solo, is that there was a intervention planned or requested that someone was being really drunk, and it was that person was notorious of being drunk regularly. This person was so drunk that got. Do you have any idea how fucking heavy drunk people are? Like, drunk people are so heavy to deal with. Because I had to take them to the ER because they were so intoxicated that they had to get their stomach, is it stomach pumped or something? I don't know what it is in English. But they had to have their stomach like completely emptied because it was just filled with so much crap that, yeah, we had to, we really had to go, or otherwise that person would not be in an okay state. But yeah, it was insane though. But luckily enough, like the husband, it was a woman too. It was a woman that was super drunk, and the husband was thankfully he was there to help me out, and then he accompanied me to the ER. And then we put her like in a wheelchair because yeah, fuck carrying that stuff. So we put her in a wheelchair, and yeah, that was quite the experience. But yeah, all this is mostly just like being like taking care of the elderly, mostly of them needing to go like to certain appointments, taking care of them a little here and there, not like the craziest kind of shit. But just making sure that they are doing okay, that they're being taken care of, that they feel safe. So yeah. Yeah, mostly like arthritis is indeed something that can be genetic. It doesn't always guarantee that you will have it. You can be the first in line, or well, first. You could be next in line of not having it. That's also possible. Your genetics are not going to define what you will or not have. There's still some changes in every human being. But you'll be okay. I believe. I wholeheartedly believe. However, what I believe is that I need to go to bed. Sadly enough, fucking... Why does time fly by so fast? But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this little session here. And I wanted to do this because, again, I know that I need to work on talking to you guys more, right? More on stream, right? So I figured, how about this? How about we just do like a fixed day? Maybe we can do this on every Wednesday, right? So we have Wednesday, that can be our fixed VR chat thing. And then we have Super Smash Saturday on Saturday, obviously, right? Would that not be an interesting thing to have regularly? And then, of course, whenever the model hits, I can just do it like all the time, right? But I do hope that you guys had fun, and I want to do this more often with hopefully some other topics that you guys would like to see or would like to discuss or hear me from. And again, it is a discussion, right? Whatever input you guys have, feel free to put that here as well, okay? Whatever questions you like to see being asked, or if you have some things that you want to share in chat, which you guys did, by the way, in which case, thank you. But I do hope you enjoyed this little conversation with all of us, so that was okay. And I didn't expect for me to keep talking like this, because right now I've been streaming for 3 hours, and I don't think I've really shut up for a minute or something like that. No, Krieg, I need to do better, like, at talking to you guys whenever I'm streaming, as in playing video games specifically. But yeah, I will be going to bed. I feel actually super tired. I wish that I could stream longer. I wish that I could do this so much longer for the rest of my life, because you guys are worth it, and I want to keep doing this, and I hope it will work out. But I will continue trying my best for all of you. So thank you again, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This will also go on YouTube, by the way, in case for those that want to stick around or just catch up with these topics. And hope to see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good night's rest. I'll see if we can raid someone. But remember that I love you all for being you.